So the Canadian study permit application is one of the easiest, I would say. And so when you just need to create your portal. You just go, so either you search the IRCC portal, and you just create your profile, and then you just begin the application. And before you begin the application, they'll ask you like a couple of questions, and everything is electronically. I did it myself. I didn't use any agent or anything. So everything is electronic. So if you're tech savvy, it becomes like much more easier for you to do. Because they just give you the instructions, you just follow, you just click on proceed, proceed. Once you read and then I mean sometimes if you don't even understand anything, they have like videos online, especially YouTube, for you to just for you to watch and then follow and see how the application process works. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I welcome you to another episode of the Study Abroad Unfiltered. My name is Pa. I believe you've enjoyed all the episodes that we've given you so far. And today we have another interesting episode for you. Stay tuned. I believe our guest is going to be very, very important to us as she shares a study abroad journey and experience, the authentic story, how she went about, the success story, the struggles, and whatever thing that she deems fit to give to you, our viewers. You are going to hear from her. So without wasting my time, I'll call upon my guest to introduce herself so that we go into the details of her study abroad journey. You're welcome.
Hi, thank you for. So to start, I would like to thank you for the opportunity, and also to thank my friend Tellen for introducing me to you to share my opinions and my how do you call it, my experience so far.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for actually honoring our invitation. I really appreciate it. So can you tell us your name, where you're from, and where you currently are?
So my name is Belinda Mu, from Ghana originally, and currently I'm in Canada, Montreal to be precise.
Montreal.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So if I'm right, you travel to Canada for studies.
Yes.
Okay.
So I moved to Montreal in 2023. That's when my academic journey started. Yeah.
Okay. So what program did you study?
Okay. So I studied environmental engineering, my master's, and so a little background, completed my bachelor's degree from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. I did my bachelor's in environmental science. And so I decided to further my education, like my master's in environmental engineering. And basically, because we don't have that program in any of the universities in Ghana, I decided to look somewhere else. And that's how come I'm here.
Okay, very well. So would you say that was the main reason why you chose to study in Canada? Or there are other reasons why you decided to go to Canada in the first place?
I would say that is like the main factor. Because considering the fact that I did environmental science after my school, national service, I worked in an environmental firm. And so I worked with my company for like 3 years. So basically, I was able to have more experience on like what I studied back in school. And since it was an environmental and an engineering firm, I decided to further my education just to like have the experience in it. That way, I feel when you have the much knowledge about what you are doing, it makes it more easier when you're applying like that the role in the job. So I considered all those factors, and here I am today. Yeah.
Impressive. So taking you back, how did you know about your school? Did you research it? Was it recommended to you by somebody? Was it through an agency? How did you find your school?
Okay, so I did the research myself. So you see, I mentioned that basically I wanted to further my education, right? After like my a bit of experience in my company. And so I researched a couple of schools and countries. So I researched in the UK, the US, Canada, and even France. And I actually applied to US, UK, and then Canada. And I got admissions in all 3 countries. I did like the research, followed the procedures, and did the application myself. And so I got admissions in all 3 countries. And that was when the next step also came in. Because now I have to weigh the pros and cons for each country and then because you have to factor the fees, you have to factor the immigration pathways and all those things, like the visa applications and all that. And so I basically, after getting the admissions in all 3 countries, I decided to like weigh all the pros and cons, and then Canada gave a clear cut as an international student. And so like they clearly defined, I mean, your program, what you need to do, and then after school, what next. So Canada has an option for a postgraduate, like you have the work permit as a student when you are done with your school. So irrespective of whether you are doing a master's, whether you are doing a diploma, you are doing an undergraduate, you would be able, you get the opportunity to have your work permit for you to have the experience also from their country, from whatever course you offered. I mean, since that was much more clearer than the other countries, I decided to like give that a try, and then I ended up here.
Okay. All right. So comparatively, would you say Canada had a cheaper tuition fee as compared to others when you are comparing the tuition fees?
It's yes and no. So
Okay.
other schools gave funding, right? Even like they gave partial funding, because I was doing a course-based program. So I mean, when you're doing a thesis program, you sometimes you have the opportunity to get full funding from the school or from the professor you are working with. But then in my case, I was doing a course-based program, and so with course-based program, you'd have to like actually pay the fees, which is not easy because international student fees are like very high. And although the other like countries gave out like partial funding and all that, I mean, relatively, the school I chose, the Canadian school that I got, was pretty much okay in the way. So yeah.
Okay. Did you get funding for the school as well?
No funding. I paid everything. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. What is the name of the school?
Concordia University. So it's an English university in Montreal. And a little back. So Montreal is a French state in Canada.
In Canada,
I forgot to mention that. So it's a French state in Canada. And I mean, majority of their universities are French, but then we have a couple of English universities where, I mean, if you don't have any French background or French knowledge, you'll be able to like school in there. So yeah.
The name of the school again for emphasis, so that people who want to check up on the school will know.
Yeah, Concordia University, or University of Concordia.
Okay, University of Concordia.
Concordia,
very
yes.
well. So to you, if you want to check it out, you can Google Concordia University, and I think you'll get it in the Google search. All right. So if you don't mind, can you tell us how much was the fees?
Yes. It depends. I mean, generally speaking, I mean, it depends on the program you're doing, right? So with my program, since I was a master's and I mean, it's an engineering program, I was paying around 20,000 to 25,000 Canadian dollars. And also, yeah, sometimes it depends on the, how do you call it, the number of courses you're also doing. Because the fees is based on like the course you're doing and then the number of credits. And that's where like it's being calculated for you to pay. So, but then roughly I paid around like 25,000 per year, and it was a 2 years program. So that's about 50,000 Canadian dollars.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not easy. All right. So walk us through the application process. How was that application process for this particular school? Was it difficult? Was it easy? And what were the documents that they required you to produce?
Okay. So I would say the application process was very easy. So I mean, once you go to the website, you just check, I mean, the course you want to offer. And basically the school gives you, I mean, all the information that you need to provide. And so with mine, I just search the school and search the requirements. And so you would need your, I mean, if you have an undergraduate program, you just add the certificates and transcript. You need to add to reference, right? The school would directly reach out to your reference for them to like send in their referral letters. You would also need, I mean, if you have you have to write a statement of purpose as well as to why you are choosing the school, why you want to do the program, and all that. So basically those are the main documents you need. So you just need your transcripts, your certificate, your referral letters, or like the referral names, the reference names, and you need your statement of purpose. And then the basic ones are maybe like you need your passport and ID.
Obviously.
And all those things. Yeah. So these were like, sorry, the basic things you just need. And then the process is just simple. You just like follow, to just like give you a rundown of what to do. You just like click on the apply, and then you submit all the, like upload all the documents, and then you just pay the application fee. And I think the application fee was 100 Canadian dollars.
100 Canadian dollars. Okay. So now, what period was the application portal opened?
So I applied. I did my application in around November 2022. So normally for international students, I mean, because you have to apply for visa and everything, we have like time frame for international students to apply. So I think the portal is usually open October to I think February. Those are the time frame that I mean, if you want for the fall term, these are the times that you need to to apply for your school application. And then depending on when you sent in the application, or how do you call it, the admission comes out. So let's say I did mine in somewhere like November, and I think in January I got my admissions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And when was your program supposed to start?
September 2023.
So
Yes,
then you
that's for
had
the fall
ample
term.
time.
Yes.
You had ample time to actually prepare for your visa and everything.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So now, okay, very well. Thank you on that. So now you have your admission. What were you supposed to do? Were you supposed to pay any acceptance fee or something like that? And how much was it if you were supposed to pay?
Yeah. So every school has different acceptance fee you have to pay, right? So with my school, at the time, it was just $250. I mean, there are other schools that are paying like 3,000 Canadian dollars. Others are paying 2,000. So it depends on the school. So I mean, talking from my experience, my school, it was 250 Canadian dollars. So I paid that, and then I got a letter of acceptance, because it's like officially I've accepted that I want to come to the school.
Yeah.
And so after paying that, the next step is you need to, since it's a French province, you need to apply for Quebec acceptance letter. So that is the first thing you need to apply before you can actually apply for the visa itself, like the study permit itself. Yes.
Okay.
And so I think I did that application in March, and I think ending of February to March, and then I got like the response in March. And so for the Quebec acceptance letter, it was just $100 for the whole application. And the only document you need to submit for that application is your letter of acceptance from the school, and your passport, and then an ID, and then just the application fee. And so the Quebec government would, I mean, review and check if, will really cross-check to see if you really got the admissions from the school or. And so I got mine in March, and then after that, I used that to apply for my study permit, like the visa itself.
The visa. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very well. So now you've gone through the Quebec registration. You have your decision. So it was left for you to apply for the visa in Ghana, right? Can you walk us through that process?
Yes.
Of the visa application? Yeah.
So so the Canadian study permit application is one of the easiest, I would say. And so when you just need to create your portal. You just go, so you search the IRCC portal, and you just create your profile, and then you just begin the application. And before you begin the application, they'll ask you like a couple of questions, and everything is electronically. I did it myself. I didn't use any agent or anything. So everything is electronic. So if you are tech savvy, it becomes like much more easier for you to do. Because they just give you the instructions, you just follow, you just click on proceed. Once you read, and then I mean, sometimes if you don't even understand anything, they have like videos online, especially YouTube, for you to just for you to watch and then follow and see how the application process works. Yeah. So basically, I just created my profile on the RSCC portal, and after that, they just ask a couple of questions. I mean, so they just ask your name, basically your profile, your name, your age, your country. You have to input in your passport information and everything. They would ask the school, like the name of the school you're attending, like you will be attending, the province you'll be coming in, yes. And then so based on that, you will get feedback whether you actually eligible to apply for a study permit. And
Oh,
so
okay.
after putting in all this information, and then you get the feedback that you're eligible to apply for a study permit, then you proceed. And so at that stage, the only thing you just need to do is you'd upload certain documents, right? And all
Okay.
these things are enlisted. So I mean, they give you a list of documents that you need to upload, and that comprises of your passport, the letter of acceptance from your school, and then the
Yeah.
Quebec acceptance letter. Because if you're coming to Quebec, you need to upload the acceptance letter from the province. So you need that, and then you need that, and then there are actually two forms you'd also need to fill. So as the how do you call it? It's an application for temporary residence, and then
Okay.
application for study permit. So it's just two forms that you also need to fill out. And then once you fill those forms, you just like upload it, and then you have to upload. There's one where you need to include your family information. So that form is basically asking, your name, if you have siblings, you have like your parents' information and all that, whether you're married, so the information with regards to your spouse and everything. So you fill that form also, and you just upload it. And
Okay.
it's not a tedious process. Once you have all your documents intact, it shouldn't even take up to a week. And
For you to be
another
able to
thing,
finish.
yes, I forgot to add up. You need to show proof of how do you call it? Proof of funds.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
gonna go to that because I know that that is very, very important to
Yeah.
these
Um,
embassies.
Actually, that's like is the is the actually the first, or like the most important factor they look
They
at,
check.
because you need to have funds to take care of yourself while you are in the country, so that you don't become more of like a
Yeah.
burden to them, basically. Yeah.
And how much are we talking about with the proof of funds? How much were you supposed to show?
So there's flexibility with Canadian
Mm,
application, like study permits application, when it comes to students. And so
mm,
even though the program, let's say your program is 2 years, they want you to
mhm.
at least show proof of funds for just a year. And then
Okay.
the proof of funds they want you to show is you should have at least 20,000 Canadian dollars in your
Okay.
bank account. Yes. And so all you need to show is at least a year of that amount. That's the 20,000. And that the 20,000 basically comprises of, they factor your fees and then your living
Mm.
expenses. So 20,000 is the base you need to show.
Oh.
You can have more. Having more is an advantage, because it means that
Mhm.
you have like more funds
Yeah.
to take care of yourself. Yes, but then the base is 20,000 Canadian dollars.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, for instance, in your case, you mentioned that your school fees was 25,000,
Yeah.
and if your fees is 25,000 and you are showing 20,000, do you have to pay the fees before the 20,000, or they consider the 20,000 as all the funds that you have, and would that be able to convince them that you can actually take care of yourself once you are there?
That's what I'm saying, that they give you the base for 20,000, right? But then it's up to
Mm-hmm.
you to show you have more. So if you are saying your fees is 25,000 a year, and then you are
Mm-hmm.
showing 20,000, it means that if the fund you have is not even covering for your fees. I
For your
am talking
fees.
of
Okay.
even your living expenses even haven't come in. Like your
Mm-hmm.
accommodation, feeding, everything, it hasn't even come in. So if your fees is 25,000 and you're showing 20,000, then technically it means that you don't have
You're
enough
not
funds.
capable.
Exactly. Exactly.
Uh,
So
okay.
what I usually tell people that are now coming in is, even
Mm.
though the base is 20,000, you need to have like more than that. At least you should have more than your yearly fees, and then just
Mm-hmm.
an extra to cater for your feeding and everything.
Okay. All right. All right. So as at the time that you were doing this application, were they expecting you to have paid your fees, or it didn't matter?
No, it didn't matter. So
Mm.
the only thing that I showed was the 250 Canadian dollars that I paid for
Okay.
the letter of acceptance. Yes. So that was the only thing that I showed, and the Quebec
Mm.
acceptance letter. So I hadn't paid my fees as at that time.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And even when you received your the favorable decision for your application, you had not still paid the fees.
No. I actually paid,
Great.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually paid my fees when I got in here. When I got in here, I just
Okay.
transferred my funds and then paid my fees. But then
Okay.
things are changing now. I mean, think maybe
Yeah.
in 2023, I mean things that maybe they overlooked or they didn't really
Uh-huh.
put in
Uh-huh.
much more attention. Now it's
Uh-huh.
different. Some schools would some schools would actually want you to pay part of your fees.
Uh-huh.
Others wouldn't want you to pay. I mean, they don't really mind. You only
Yeah.
need to pay maybe make it like a down payment, sort of like a commitment fee
Mm.
that you would actually come to the school. So these are the things
Mm.
that you just need to show when you are making your visa applications and
Oh,
everything. Because I mean anything can happen. I
wow.
mean it's 50-50 chance whether you get accepted or refused. And so
Exactly.
yes, I think the schools sometimes look at that and then they don't really pressure the international students to pay their fees before they come. So you just
Okay.
only need to pay certain amount just to show your commitment that you'll be coming to the
Mm.
school. They allow you to do your visa application. So once you get that and you come to the school, then you can start paying your fees.
Okay,
Yes.
great. I was asking for that clarification because I spoke with some people, someone who was coming to going to Ireland, and indeed the Irish embassy expected her to pay about 60% of the fees even before applying for the visa. So then I will agree with you that your process was flexible, as you mentioned
Yeah.
earlier. Yeah. And so, if you are listening, you have to take note. You can do the application yourself, just as she's saying. The purpose of this is for you to have this information so that you don't fall victim to anybody who's going to scam you for your money and all that. Because we hear stories of people trying to do these applications for other people, and the person they are doing the application on their behalf do not even have the login to the portal, and it ends up being a whole lot of story. So as my guest is sharing this useful information, you have to take notes and subscribe to this channel for more, because my guests, they are the best. They're going to give you every information that you need. Don't look anywhere. Look on Mana Inspire. All right. So thank you for that clarification and information. I think that helps, because in most cases, it's the
Mhm.
visa application that people struggle with,
Yeah. That is
and they
true.
don't do it well. Yeah, and though they have admission, they end up being refused multiple times because they don't try to go through the process very well. So I thank you for taking your time to break down that aspect for us. Let me also ask this briefly. Were you supposed to have proof of accommodation before applying for the visa?
So with me, as at the time I was applying,
Uh-huh.
I didn't have proof of accommodation. I had
Okay.
applied for campus resident. I hadn't
Okay.
gotten a feedback yet, and so when I was applying, I didn't have housing. I wasn't even sure where.
Mm.
Even when I got my visa, I still hadn't gotten a place to stay.
Wow. Okay. Great. So now
Yeah.
you've done the application.
Yeah. So
How
I
long
want
did
to check something
Okay,
in.
go on,
So
go on.
the the application fee for the Canadian study permit is 200 and I think $235. So it's 150
Okay.
for the application itself and then $85 for the biometrics. And
Okay.
you'd also need to undertake a medical test. And so
Uh-huh.
they have designated like hospitals that you would need to go and do
Mm.
your medicals for, like the Canadian embassy, for them to like check
Mm.
everything. And so once you do all those things, so I mean, when it gets to the stage of the medicals, you will be prompt. So it's like at every point of the process, you get a notification on the next step. So
On the
let's
next
say
step. Okay.
yes. So let's say when I did the application, right, for the study permit. I've submitted
Uh-huh.
everything, put in my documents and everything. And I would
Uh-huh.
say another thing that people get refused is if you don't provide accurate document, because you need
Mm.
to show like the proof of, and I mean the proof of funds. It can either be from your parents, your
Mm.
siblings, your uncles. I mean, basically, you need to show that somebody, if you're not paying the fees yourself, somebody is sponsoring you, and then maybe you should
Okay.
have proof of ties with the person. So if the person is your uncle, the person is your mom, the person is your sibling, you need to show some ties with the person. You have to get maybe if the person is working, the person can show proof of ownership, that maybe they own this, they have this company, they are registered with this. So you need to have a solid documents backing up your application, because you wouldn't do an in-person interview just to explain maybe yourself. So it's like everything you are doing is on the paper, like it's online. So you need to put in like very solid documents, because whatever information you are giving them is what they are basing on. So if you're not giving them any good information or anything backing up your application, you just give them the automatic chance to just refuse you. Yes. And so after I submitted the application, you get a notification that they've received your application, and so they'll update you when there's next step. And so from time to time, you need to be checking in the portal just to see if there's been an update. And so once there's an update, I think the next step is they would ask you to go and do their biometrics. So that's where they'll take your fingerprints just to check your background, your criminal background and everything. And once that goes through and you're very fortunate, they would give you another update for you to go and do the medicals.
Okay.
Exactly. And so the next step is you do the medicals, and then that one. So the medicals, they don't give you, then whatever test you do, the doctors don't give you any information. They send everything directly to them. So whether you have any sickness or everything, you don't even know. So you just be anticipating, just praying and hoping that you don't have any illness or anything that would disqualify you. Yeah.
I get it. I get that.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So you've
after
heard it.
so after the medicals, and I think that will be all. So after the medicals, the next thing is they are just deciding your fate, whether you get approved or you get refused. So, and those are very trying times.
The waiting period can be very, very frustrating.
It is.
Wow. Thank you for the information. In fact, you have given us everything that we need to know concerning the visa application. So you've heard it all. Explain yourself with your documents. Prove your case that you are worthy of the visa with every document. So whatever document you think would speak to your case and prove your case, submit those documents. Don't leave anything at their discretion. Try to be on point, provide the relevant documents, and hope for the best. All right. So now you are done with the application process. Everything is done. How long did it take for you to hear from them?
So it should take about 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
2 to 3 months, yes. 2 to 3 months, yeah. I
If-
mean, sometimes it can be more, but with mine, I think it took about my whole process from the CAQ to the study permit. It took me about 4 months.
Oh,
Yeah. So I think
then it
in
means
June, by June, I had gotten my visa approved.
your
So
visa.
I knew,
Wow.
yeah.
That's very relieving. When you do the application process very early, you know your fate early, then
Yeah.
you have ample time to prepare.
Time to
So in June,
prepare.
exactly, July, August, before September. So at least you have about 2-3 months to
3 months,
prepare
yeah.
for your travel. All
True.
right. All right. Great. All right. So now you have your visa. You are going to Canada, Montreal, Quebec, a French dominated county or region. How was the feeling?
Truthfully, I wouldn't say. I mean, at the beginning, it wasn't difficult. I mean, even
Okay.
though it's French dominated, people are actually nice. You get people speak English all the time. The only thing that disadvantages when you're actually looking for jobs, that is when the bilingual thing starts. But then on a regular basis, talking with people, I mean, a lot of people are like speaking English. I mean, you'd also find yourself among people that are also speaking English and everything. I mean, even though it's a French speaking province, they don't really make it seem that bad. It's just that in the buses, in the train stations, most of the announcements and everything are in French.
I can imagine.
Yeah, those are the times that you really feel that yes, you are among French speaking natives. But I mean, aside that, your day-to-day activities is just like normal living among people that you are able to communicate with. So.
Okay. Okay. Were you speaking some French before you moved, or nothing at all?
Nothing at all.
Wow, that can be tiring. I remember my time in France as well. The first
But
year
I
was
mean, the normal
difficult.
bonjour, ça va, those things. At least if you don't
Uh,
know anything, you should be able to say that.
exactly. You have to be able to
Oh,
respond to those greetings and
yeah.
pleasantries. All right. So now you are in Canada. You're in Montreal now. How was studies?
It wasn't easy. How'd you put it? I mean, there's a way our educational background was like back home, and then you're trying to integrate into like a different settings with different like cultural background, like everything. It becomes like a new setting, so it's like new, and
Mm,
you're a new person, you don't really know people that much. So the early stages, you're trying to integrate into the system, get to see how like their school system works, try to understand their grading system and everything. So in sorry, the early stages I would say isn't easy, but then as time goes on, it got better. I mean,
okay.
because once you get to understand, you make friends from your classes and everything, it makes it much more easier to understand what you're
Mm,
doing. And another thing, as a student, we are able to work part time, right? So it's like
okay.
trying to combine studies and work. It wasn't an easy thing,
More
but
easy.
we prevailed through.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry.
You would. No, it's fine.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
now let me take you back. You mentioned that you didn't have accommodation before you traveled. At what point did you find accommodation? And how was the process in finding accommodation? And how much did you pay for accommodation?
Okay. So I got an accommodation a week before I'll come here,
Okay.
and so I tried with the school. So initially I applied with the school's residence, right? But then I mean, because there are a lot of international students, I mean, they'll give priority based on as and when you applied. And she
Okay.
sent, yeah, and I think I applied after I got my visa. So it means that
Mm,
there are people who had applied before me.
yeah,
So
definitely.
because I mean, there's no point you've not gotten your visa and then you're applying for accommodation because you don't even
Uh-huh.
know your fate,
Uh-huh.
whether you're going to get approved or refused. And
Uh-huh.
so I started the house search after I got my visa approved. And so I sent in my application through my school portal, and then you
Okay.
just be on the wait list. So as and when the people that are putting the application like the applicate, when everybody is sorted, when it gets your turn. And the days were just approaching and I hadn't like still gotten anything. I
Uh-huh.
mean, I started
Uh-huh.
speaking with people. I was just fortunate to know quite a few
Mm,
people who were here. I mean, they weren't necessarily in Montreal, but then they were in other provinces. So I had the chance to like speak with them
okay.
just to see how best they can also assist me to get the accommodation. I mean,
Okay.
there are online platforms you could also search for the accommodations. But I mean, I check reviews and everything. People didn't really
Mm,
give much positive because I mean, you might actually get genuine ones, but then you might also fall victim to people that do end up just
uh-huh.
scamming you, and then I mean they'll take your money and then you end up not getting the
Yeah.
accommodation. And so, I mean, I was thinking about all those things, and then I just resort to asking people I knew. And so they were
Okay.
helping me out. So, I mean, the person that I knew was out of Montreal. And then she, in turn, had to also like try reaching out to people in Montreal just to
Mm,
see if there's any accommodation and everything. And lo and behold, just before like a week before for me to come, I was able to get a house and that was close to my campus. It was just like
okay.
a 5 minutes walk to my campus. So I was so happy. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously you would. You would be happy.
Yeah. And as at that time, I was paying 650 Canadian
Okay.
dollars, and it was a shared apartment. So I
Okay.
mean, everyone had their rooms, but then you just share the common spaces. I mean, the kitchen and
Mm,
then like the living room and all that. Yeah, so
okay. So
six
650 a month.
fifty. Yeah.
All right. All right. All right. Okay, so you mentioned that you were allowed to work as a student. How many hours were you allowed to work?
When in 2023 we were allowed to work 20 hours as a student. When school is in session, you can only work 20 hours per week. But
Okay.
when school is on vacation or when school is not in session, you can work full time. no restrictions. I mean, all that matters is school is not in session. You can just work full time. But then once school is in session, you had to do 20 hours. And I think eventually they moved it to 24 hours. So currently, if you're a student in Montreal, you can only do 24 hours per week.
Okay. That is when school is in session?
Yes.
So when school is not in session, you can work more
hours, yes. I mean, it's full time, so you can decide to do 2-3 jobs if you think you can, but
you can, depending on your ability.
yes.
And what were some of the, or what are some of the commonest job students can find? Because I know that I know the experience of people or agencies, companies wanting full-time workers. So if you're a student and you are permitted to work just 20 hours, it means you need a part-time job, and it becomes sometimes difficult to find. So what were some of the commonest job a student could find or can find in Montreal?
Yes. So mostly what you can do is you can either work in a customer service field, you can do warehouse mostly. Because I think with a warehouse, mostly they understand the fact that students can do just 20 hours or 24 hours. So they are very considerate when it comes to that. So sometimes you get most of the warehouse jobs or even the restaurants and things allowing students to work part-time. Yeah.
Okay, very, very well. Let's talk about the standard or cost of living in Montreal. How much do you think, on the average, you are spending or you spend on basic necessities like food and other basic necessities, aside rent? Yeah.
So I would say it depends on each individual, right? But then let's say, I mean, if you're somebody who eats out a lot, you would end up spending a lot. And I mean, cost of living basically, like generally in Montreal, is much more cheaper compared to other provinces here. But then if you're somebody who eats out like a lot, you would see that you end up spending a lot. But then if you do like maybe grocery shopping and then you try to cook your own meals, try to eat like your own meals, and then maybe from time to time you just eat out, you can spend maybe about 250 to let's say 500 in a month for for feeding
That's
and
not
all
bad.
those things. Yes.
That's not bad. Okay. So
Yeah.
do you think that the student jobs can pay such that you can use that to support yourself, looking at the rent and the cost of living in Montreal? Do you think it is okay, it is enough?
So it's enough, I would say, because I mean, if you're working 24 hours, I mean, it depends, and it also depends on the rate, right? So there are jobs that are paying maybe $16 an hour, 17, $18, $20, $25. So depending on whichever rate you are getting, I think it should be it is enough to cover at least your rent and then your feeding and let's say transport. Because I mean, one thing too is if you're a student, you are getting a subsidized fee on the bus and then the train fares. Yeah, so I think with students you pay $60 instead of the standard $100 for like regular people. And so when you factor all these things in, I would say that the 24 hours work is able to like cover that aspect of your life. Yeah.
Okay. So the $60 bus fee or train fee is for a month.
Yeah, it's for a month.
Okay, very well. Did you have some Ghanaian community on your campus, like other Ghanaian students on campus?
Yes.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I mean you find Ghanaians on campus, and I was privileged to go to like attend a Ghanaian church. So yes, and then the church also really helps students. I'll give that up to them. I would use this
Impressive.
platform to really appreciate them because
Impressive.
they know it's not easy being a student, and then I mean trying to school
Yeah.
and work at the same time. So sometimes they try to like ease our burdens with they try to give us like groceries. And when you go to like Sunday service, they try to give you like home cooked meal, like proper Ghanaian jollof, wache, and like soup and all that. I mean, just so you don't really feel lonely and everything. Yeah. So they really force, like they really put in that much consideration for we the students. And I
Wow.
mean, so it doesn't really make it so lonely because at least you get to know people that, yeah, they're looking after you since like maybe your parents or your
Yeah.
family is not around. So yeah.
That can be a bit relieving anyway.
Oh, it is. It is.
God bless the Ghanaian church in Montreal. God bless the church in Montreal. We hope that they'll have the strength to do more for other students as well. So now, currently, you are done with school.
Yes.
How is it like after studies in Canada and specifically in Montreal?
Montreal. Okay. So you see, since Montreal is bilingual, after school when you're looking for a job, is they mostly favor people like they favor the bilinguals. So they basically want somebody who speaks both French and English. And so I think that is the basic the most difficult aspect if you don't speak French, because it limits you as to where to your job search and everything. But then I mean, since you're relatively in Canada, you can apply any to any province.
Okay.
And yes, so I mean, if you are here and then maybe the French is like maybe a barrier or something, I mean, you can equally learn the language because they give you the opportunity. The government gives you the opportunity to go to a French class that you don't need to pay. It's a free class that you just take just for you to improve upon your French skills. But then, I mean, if you're not able to also learn the French and everything, you can equally apply to other provinces as well too to get a job. So yeah.
Okay. So when you are done with school, how many years are you given to look for a job? How many grace period are you
Yes.
given
Yes.
to look
So
for a job?
yes. So when you are done, you have a 3 years work permit.
Okay.
And yes, so just to give you like a little of what I did. Once you're done with school and then you get you would need to apply for your letter of completion, your transcripts and everything from your school. These are the
Yeah.
documents that you will need for your postgraduate work permit application. Because once you're done with school, your study permit comes to an end. And I mean, in school, the study permit is what you use to work. But then once you are no longer a student, it means that you can't use that to work. And so you need to apply for the postgraduate work permit. And now another requirement to apply for the postgraduate work permit is you need to take either an English language proficiency test or French.
Okay.
So yes, and so you can either write IELTS, and there's a Canadian one called CELPIP. If so, either these two, and then if you I mean you are good in the French and everything, you can write the French language proficiency test. And then I mean they have a benchmark. You should get I think the benchmark is 7 for listening, writing, speaking, and reading. And so once you're able to pass, you pass that, you add this in addition to the documents from your school, like the letter of completion and everything, and then you just apply for it. Yes. And
Okay.
it usually takes some time for you to get a response. But then, I mean, once you apply, they give you a document that shows that you've applied for the work permit. So you can use that to work till the actual decision comes for you to get the work permit. And so currently I have 3 years on my of work permit. So I mean, so you have like 3 years grace period just to figure out where to get a job. And yeah, so
So as at the time that you are on this work permit, when you get a permanent job, you have the opportunity to switch.
so it's an open permit.
Okay.
So you don't so you don't even need to switch. It's an open permit, so you can you can work anywhere. If you get an official job offer from any company, it just allows you to work with the company basically. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So what happens when this one expires? If you have a job offer, you can use that to extend.
So exactly.
Okay. Okay, very well. Let me take you back a little.
Sure.
You mentioned IELTS, like English proficiency
Mm-hmm.
exam.
Yeah.
Does it mean that at the point of applying for the visa in the school, you don't need such documents? Okay.
So once you are able to show that most of your the how do you call it? I mean the
Your
courses you took
education.
back home, the most of the courses you took back home is in English or French. You don't need to like write either IELTS or those things. Yes. So what I did was during my application with KNUST, they're able to give you a form that shows that you completed your courses in English. So I just I just added that to the application process just so they know that I mean most of In fact, 100% of my program was in English.
No, it's fine. Go on.
Yes, it's connected now. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So the school gave me the documents that shows that I completed my studies in English, and I just like added that to my applications. And so I didn't need to write any English proficiency exams or anything.
Okay. Very well. Very well.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so that's fine. So all in all, how has your experience in Canada, Montreal, to be specific, how has it been? Can you hear me?
Yes. Sorry about that, and thank you.
No, it's fine. So I was asking,
Yes.
how has your experience, all in all, as a student and now working, how has it been for you?
It's been a roller coaster of emotions, ups and downs. I wouldn't say it hasn't been easy, and I wouldn't also say it hasn't. Like, I mean, it's been both ways. I mean, there are times that everything is so easy, and then there are times that things are not too easy. But then, I mean, this didn't like discourage me or anything, because I mean, I mean, sometimes when you know the reason or the purpose why you are here, that is able to like overcome everything that you are going through. Because I mean, you're moving to a place that you don't really know people. You're trying to get to know like new set of people, cultural backgrounds and everything. So I mean, it's not easy in a
Yeah.
way. But then
Yeah.
as times goes on, I mean, you get used to you get used to the system, you get used to the people, and I mean, yeah. And I mean, initially it becomes like so lonely, because I mean, you basically don't really know anyone or any like something. But then I mean, as times goes on, you build friendship, and then you build your own small family and everything.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yeah. So the experience has been good. It has been good so far.
Great. So would you say your decision to study abroad in Canada, in Montreal, has paid off?
It has. It has. It has
Great.
really. It has. Yeah.
On that note,
Mhm.
what would be that one or two advice you will give to somebody who wants to apply the same road or explore the same opportunity as you did?
So I'll just be frank. You can do it on your own. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't need to pay someone off to do anything for you. I mean,
Yeah.
once you are coming to further your education, then it means that you are able to read and write. You are able, and then
Exactly.
every information is accessible to us online. Even if you don't understand anything, you can Google search, you can go to YouTube, you can watch videos of people that they've already done it. It's easy to do it. I mean, it gets tedious, because I mean, you have to put on all the information together, gather your
Yeah.
documents and everything. But then, I mean, even if you involve yourself in it, I mean, you are able to even appreciate the whole process
The
than giving it
journey.
to somebody to do it, and then you just come, you get lost. I mean, I hear stories that people come and then they don't even know the program they are doing. They don't even have logins to their portal and everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
once you do it yourself, I mean, it's easier when you get to the airport, and then immigration is asking you a question, because I mean, you did it yourself. You're able to explain things to them for them to get it, for them to know that, oh, okay, I mean, this is a genuine, the person actually did it genuinely on
Mm.
their own.
Mm.
Another thing is I would say that you should have enough funds. You should have like
Okay.
emergency funds, have funds and everything, because the job search is not as easy as it looks,
Uh-huh.
because
Uh-huh.
you can get here, and then maybe for like 5 6 months you've not gotten a job to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it's not as rosy as it looks like. The job is there, yes, but then the time to get the job, I mean, you don't even know whether, I mean, there are people that they come today, they apply the next, and then they get a job. The
Uh-huh.
others 2 months, 3 months, 1 month. So you can't really rely on the fact that, oh, okay, I'll come and then work, and then, I mean, no, I mean, just have
Yeah.
emergency funds. I mean, so that if things don't go as expected, you don't find yourself wanting, because you already have a backup, or you already have something
Yeah.
that is holding
To
you
fall
down
on.
till things get into place. So I mean, overall, I wouldn't discourage anyone. I mean, if you have a
Yeah.
clear cut plan on what you want to do, or
Mm.
aspirations and everything, just take it's just a leap of faith, right? Just take it. I mean, if you know what you want to do, just do it and then experience it on
Yeah.
your own. Because people will, I mean, I'm giving you my experience. Somebody might have a much better experience than I got. Somebody
Yeah.
might have a worse experience than me. And so you need
Uh-huh.
to experience it for yourself. And then we can only give you, I mean, general information of what is going on or
Exactly.
what happened when I'm here. I mean, you might
Exactly.
even come and things might even be like much more smoother and then like
Exactly.
easier compared to what I'm saying now. Yeah. So I mean, if you have the funds, and I
Mm.
mean, you can also try people. You can I mean, how do you call it? Thesis. With thesis you'd be able to get funding and everything. I mean,
Funding.
the
Okay.
process is tedious because I mean, you have to email the school, email a professor, get
Uh-huh.
somebody to
Uh-huh.
work with. But then those ones, I mean, you'll be able to get full funding, and then that eases off the burden a bit. And so weigh like I mean the pros and cons. Weigh all options. See what best works for you and do it. Don't do it because maybe this person is saying this or this person is
Uh-huh.
saying this.
Uh-huh.
Do it because I mean you researched on it and then you see that I mean this one will work for me, and then just go for it.
All right. Very well. So you've heard it all. I believe you have enough information to make this your study abroad journey a success. I always tell people that one of the easiest way you can travel is through education, is through school. So if you have the means, you have the vision, and you have the ability, go for it. And don't forget to share this video, subscribe, and let another person hear of this platform giving out authentic information from authentic people who are sharing their true experiences and true stories. Belinda, before we go, would you be okay if someone wants to get in touch with you and maybe ask for guidance or direction on how to go about an application, or would you be okay with that?
Yeah, sure. I'm okay.
So can you put where can they reach you? Your Facebook or something like that? Anything that if you're okay.
Um yes, so Instagram, Facebook, I think I use Belinda Mu, so just my name. So you can just
Okay.
search me on, or you can just I mean you can put in my email. They can just reach out to my email directly, or they can reach
Okay.
out to me with like my phone number, either WhatsApp or
Okay.
SMS, whichever one that works for them. They could just
All
reach
right.
out to me. And if there's
All
any
right.
like assistance, if there's any like guidance or anything that I have, I would gladly share just to help out. Yeah.
Thank you very, very, very much. Really
Thank you
appreciate
too for the
your
opportunity.
input. So, hey, our viewers, we draw the curtains on this one here. And thank you for watching. But don't forget to subscribe and share and watch till the end. Thank you very much. This is Studio Abroad Unfiltered on Mana Inspire. See you on our next episode. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.